Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of the Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. Trump goes to Russia and hangs out with Vladimir Putin. Spent over almost 2.5 hours. Good Jesus Lord. That's a long time that he spent with the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. And the media is going slam off. Traitor this, traitor that, treasonous this, treasonous that. All right, so what I want to do is look at the definition of a traitor, and we'll go from there. And this is from Webster. All right, so give me a second. Webster says treason is the offense of attempting by overt acts to overthrow the government of the state to which the offender owes allegiance, or to kill, or to personally injure the sovereign or sovereign's family. The betrayal or trust is definition number 2. That's for treason. So we're going to stop right there. Is Donald Trump committing acts of treason? Well, did he take the offense of attempting to overt acts to overthrow the government of the state which the offender owes allegiance to, or to kill or personally injure the sovereign or sovereign's family? Well, Trump is not trying to kill or personally injure the sovereign or the sovereign's family. Trump does not owe any allegiance. There's no proof that Trump owes allegiance to Russia. And there's no way of him attempting to overthrow the United States government and give it to Russia. Yet some of you tend to think that he does. So, based according to Webster, you want to call him treason, but there's no proof that he's attempting to overt acts to overthrow the government of the state to which the offender owes allegiance to. The bottom line is he won that election. He won in all the states. So in order for the election to be hacked, in order for the polls to be hacked into and rigged and changed over to Trump from Hillary, that is an impossible task in some cases. Because not only did Trump win, the House and the Senate went over to the Republicans too. The governorships went over to the Republicans too. So they had to be a lot of treasonous actors in this whole thing because the Republicans took over. Get mad as you want, upset, cry like a baby, but they had. And one of the reasons why they took over, one of the reasons why they won, is because we ran a horrible candidate in Hillary Clinton. And the Democratic Party leaders decided to support Clinton over Bernie Sanders, even though he had the majority in a lot of places, especially when it came to these superdelegate states, where he won overhandedly, but the delegates refused to side with the people, and they side with Hillary Clinton. Now, if you want to talk about treason, that's treason. That's when you turn your back on the people and decide to go with the oligarchs. Now, for you to think that this country, because I hear it all over the news, oh, it's a dark hour in our country. Really? It's a dark hour in our country when we had hundreds of years of slavery, brutalizing, terrorizing, burning up, skinning Indians, Native Americans. When we brutalized the Chinese, when we brutalized blacks, the Hispanics that did some work in this country. But yeah, you want to say this right here, Trump meeting with Putin and not call him out, is a dark day. When right now we're currently dealing with Flint, Michigan. Right now we're currently dealing with blue on black crime. Police officers, not all of them, but some over pompous cops who want to use their badge as a way of dominating people. But you want to say that this is a dark hour in this country. When we got a Democratic Party and party insiders that rigged their own election And you're going to talk about Russia using some Facebook groups, some memes, some websites, some pages to so-called convince the American public to turn against Hillary Clinton, which you have no proof of that. And you say this is a dark hour. That's a dark lie. Well, we had people get hung, lynched, burned alive, raped, brutalized. Yeah, you want to say this is a dark hour. What do you mean this? Trump did not call out Putin. What you want this man to do? You want this man to power drive him? You want this man to RKO Vladimir Putin? You want him to rock bottom, lay up the smack down on this candy? Is that what you want him to do? He's the president. You want him to do like Obama. Well, I told Putin that he better start nulling our election. Cut it out. Cut it out. Same thing Hillary Clinton told Wall Street. Cut it out. Was that talk back then? No. Now, I'm going to play this, and I'm not going to play the whole thing. But you are not going to get Donald Trump to side with you. I don't care what you say. He is his own man. He has his own stubborn thinking. And he's not going to listen to the American public. He's not going to listen to you punk politicians out there. And I'm not a fan of Trump. Well, as in some of his books I'm a fan of. But him as president, I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan of Hillary Clinton. I'm not a fan of Trump and not going to be a fan. And I'm not going to hate the Democrats so much that I'm going to turn and become a Republican. And I'm not going to go support Trump because I hate the Democratic Party and I hate Hillary that bad. Yes, I do not like the current Democratic Party, and I do not like Hillary, and a whole bunch of people in the Democratic Party that's a bunch of sap sucks. By the way, I want to apologize for calling those who voted for Hillary Clinton Donald Trump dummies. No, you saw something in them, and I deeply apologize. You saw something in him that made you go vote. Some of you fell for the lesser of the two evil argument. I'm not that type of person. I'm not going to ever be that type of person. I think that's illogical thinking. That's just me personally, but... And then some people vote out of fear of Trump. Some people vote out of fear of Hillary Clinton. I'm not going to ever vote out of fear. I'm going to always vote out of faith. I'm going to be, you got to faith me into voting for you to get my vote. You are not going to get my vote out of fear. You're not going to get the vote talking about the other person like a dog. No, you got to faith me. You got to tell me what you're going to do for my people, my constituents, my neighborhood, and the people in my situation. You got to tell me what you want to do and how you've done it in the past. Now, let me get back on this. So I apologize to you for that. But the definition of treason, according to Webster, Trump don't fit it, even though I'm not a fan of him being the president. No way, shape, form, or fashion. Well, let's look up traitor. One who betrays another trust or is false to an obligation or duty. One who commits treason. So what you're going to say, Trump is a traitor because he betrayed the American people, and gave us a false obligation of duty. Well, if you're going to do that, you got to do that against Obama because he felt black people a whole lot. Inspired us, but he didn't do nothing for us. He did more for Hispanic and the LGBT community than his own people. And not that I'm saying something wrong with that, but brother, you didn't do nothing for your people, man. But yet your people still supported you overwhelmingly and gave you 2 terms, and you still ain't do nothing for the black side of you. I digress. So if you're going to say traitor, Trump is a traitor because he betrayed another's trust. Most of these politicians betrayed the trust of the American people. Well, he betrayed the trust of our country by telling Vladimir Putin to come up with the emails of Hillary Clinton. Okay, he can ask for that. And if they were so miraculously to do that, at least they exposed some truths. My thing is, look, if the truth get leaked, bada boom, bada bang. Stop just looking at how it got leaked and looked at the truth. If you feel you need to prosecute the leakers, don't prosecute the leakers without looking at the materials that they leak, and you see criminality, you see collusion, you see with your own eyes and ears the rigging of the primaries or the rigging of the general election. When you see this, don't just cast that to the side, Robert Mueller. because that's what you call being a hack. Do it all. So according to this Webster Dictionary, if Trump is a traitor, so was Obama, so was George W. Bush, so was George Bush, so was Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan. I can go on. And most of these people are war hawks. They betrayed the trust of the American people and decided to go promote fight of terrorism and tyranny and regime change and getting involved with all these wars and taking the finances from the American people. The American people gave you their tax money, but they didn't give it to you to go out there and fight these wars. That is what you're talking about, traitor, betraying another's trust. The American people give you their tax dollars to do something to bolster the economy to the American people. They expect you to take care, as Trump was supposed to originally tell us, American first. Make America great again. But no, you're not doing it. Trump not doing it. Hillary wasn't going to do it. Obama didn't do it. So let's get these two definitions out of the way. He is not a traitor. He is not treasonous. I would love him to be that. That way we can find some way to prosecute him. But he did nothing on record. And even Rosenstein said that the election was the result of Hillary Clinton just sucking so bad that even a nighttime reality show fluke, con artist, downright criminal, got mob connections all in New York City. Some of you don't want to hear that, but he do. She let him beat her. Misqualified. There's nobody more qualified than Hillary Clinton. Not me. Not Joe Biden. Not Joe Biden. Not Michelle. Boy, I know he got in trouble saying that. Michelle said, what you mean she's more qualified than I am? She ain't qualified to do this to you, boy. Put it on you. But nevertheless, no. Come on, start with this treasonous act. Okay. They already said, and I already went through it, that the election between Trump and Hillary Clinton and the winning of it has nothing to do with it. That was legit. They just want to find some way to put a little rush of pressure throughout the next election by coming up with these indictments. Some of them probably stick because they're not going to come here to try to beat it. Some of them not going to stick. So let's get into this interview real quick. I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do to get this going. And let's talk about this a little bit.
Что позволило не допустить опасных инцидентов и humanitarian crisis and help Syrian refugees to go back to their homes. In order to accomplish this level of successful cooperation in Syria, we have all the required components. Let me remind you that both Russian and American military have acquired a useful experience of coordination of their action, established the operational channels of communication, which permitted to avoid dangerous incidents and unintentional collisions in the air and in the ground. Also, crushing terrorists in the southwest of Syria, the south of Syria, should be brought to the full compliance with the Treaty of 1974 about the separation of forces, of Israel and Syria. This will bring peace to Golan Heights and bring a more peaceful relationship between Syria and Israel, and also to provide security of the state of Israel. Mr. President paid special attention to the issue during today's negotiations, and I would like to confirm that Russia is interested in this development and this will act accordingly. Thus far, we will make a step toward creating a lasting peace in compliance with the respective resolutions of Security Council, for instance, the resolution 338. We're glad that the Korean Peninsula issue is starting to resolve. To a great extent, it was possible thanks to the personal engagement of President Trump, who opted for dialogue instead of confrontation. We also mentioned our concern about the withdrawal of the United States from the JCPOA. Well, our U.S. counterparts are aware of our posture. Let me remind you that thanks to the Iranian nuclear deal, Iran became the most controlled country in the world that's submitted to the control of IAEA. It effectively ensures the exclusively peaceful nature of Iranian nuclear program and strengthens the non-proliferation regime. While we discussed the internal Ukrainian crisis, we paid special attention to the bona fide implementation of Minsk agreements by Kiev. At the same time, the United States could be more decisive in nudging the Ukrainian leadership and encourage it work actively in this. We paid more attention to economic ties and economic cooperation. It's clear that both countries, the businesses of both countries, are interested in this. American delegation was one of the largest delegations on the St. Petersburg Economic Forum. It featured over 500 representatives of American businesses. We agreed, me and President Trump, we agreed to create a high-level working group that would bring together captains of Russian and American business. After all, entrepreneurs and businessmen know better how to articulate this successful business cooperation. We'll let them think and make their proposals and suggestions in this regard. Once again, President Trump mentioned the issue of the so-called interference of Russia in the American elections, and I had to reiterate things I said several times, including during our personal contacts, that the Russian state has never interfered and is not going to interfere into internal American affairs, including election process. Any specific material, if such things arise, we are ready to analyze together. For instance, we can analyze them through the joint working group on cybersecurity, the establishment of which we discussed during our previous contacts. And clearly, it's past time we restore our cooperation in the cultural area, in the humanitarian area. As far as I think you know that recently we hosted the American Congressman delegation, and now it's perceived and portrayed almost as a historic event, although it should have been just a current affairs, just the business as usual. And in this regard, we mentioned this proposal to the President. We have to think about the practicalities of our cooperation, but also about the rationale, the underlying logic of it. And we have to engage experts on bilateral relationship who know history and the background of our relationship. The idea is to create an expert council that would include political scientists, prominent diplomats and former military experts on both countries who would look for points of contact between two countries, that would look for ways on putting the relationship on the trajectory of growth. In general, we are glad with the outcome of our first full-scale meeting, because previously we only had a chance to talk briefly on international fora. We had a good conversation with President Trump, and I hope that we start to understand each other better, and I'm grateful to Donald for it.
So, all right, so what we're looking at is, through this process, Putin began to talk about what happened in the meeting with Donald, talked about some of the initiatives they're going to work on together. Some things are good. And then he talked about how Trump talked to him about the Russian collusion. The thing is, you're trying to figure out how did he do it. The point is he talked to him about it. Well, you need to be strong. You need to be strong and say, look here, mother. You try to say the man has no diplomacy skill, and he does not. But he's trying to show some with Vladimir Putin. That's because he Putin puppet. Whatever, okay? All right. Maybe he is, maybe not. The point is, right now, we don't need to be ramping up tensions with any country. We are the hated ones all around the world. We're the one going in. We're rigging other people's election. We're toppling other people's dictatorships. We're toppling other people's leaders, so-called dictators, but the people voting for them. We're putting in the people that we want, that favor us, in those positions. You don't call that collusion? You don't call that rigging the elections? We rig not only just our elections, ourselves, ask the Democratic Party, they'll tell you they're real good at it. But we go in, and not only do we rig those elections, we kill the leader. We kill him. And we got the nerves to talk about Russia. And yet there's no proof. Vladimir Putin said, we don't do it. I keep telling y'all we don't do it. Now, of course, you know I'm take that with a grain of salt. We know he has his sort of what we call NSA of Russia. Just like we got NSA. What do you think NSA do? They spy, they hack. They look into your cameras. They look into your TV. They look on they track your phone. What do you think that is? That is hacking. That is invading your privacy. And if you don't think if you do not think they'll do that on your phone, don't you think they'll do that in election? Hold up. I mean, I can go on and on and on how Hillary Clinton had David Brocken correct the record. And they was doing the same thing that these 13 so-called Russian nationals that were paid by corporations do. They do the same thing. Hillary Clinton had people that did the same thing called David Brock correct the record. They even harassed people on the internet. That was not Russia. That was David Brock. Now, my own belief is this thing with Russia is so small. This thing over here with Democratic so big. How can you not? How can you tell me about 13 Russian nationalists working for some company? You never said they worked for Russia, former intelligence agencies. How do we know? Who was the person? Let us see his credential. And even if you did have somebody, you know you can't bring him back here, extradite him back here to be put on trial. That's why Putin says in this that, look, we go to trial, but I'm going to play that in a moment. Let's have a trial. Enough with the C-say stuff. We got more stuff to deal with. The Democratic Party cheated their own election, and they plan on doing it again if nobody do not hold them accountable. How can we hold Russia accountable? How can you, especially you Democratic leaders, how can you get mad at Donald Trump because Donald Trump won't call Putin out for something that he claimed he didn't do, something that we haven't really shown no real hard evidence of him doing it? We probably have information about some company do it that hired some people, just like Hillary Clinton had David Brock that hired people. But that wasn't President Obama's fault, was it, or was it? Should President Obama call out Hillary Clinton and correct the record? Then if Trump need to call out Vladimir Putin on that stuff, then Obama need to call out Hillary Clinton, David Brock, and correct the record. Bernie need to do it. And it was his election, and he refused to call him out. So how are you going to sit here and call him weak, pathetic? It was a dark day in our country. Man, shut up with that mess. It's dark because your butt been in the closet or you had your head up your behind all these years when it comes to different politicians and how they obfuscate, how they throw off, how they deflect, how they manipulate, how they twist the narrative, how they do propaganda, all that stuff. Your head is up the butt and you're trying to act like, I don't see it, I don't believe they do it, I don't see it. Of course, because your head is up your butt. And that's why it's dark. Stuff been going on for a long time. America do it, Russian do it, Chinese do it to us, and we do it to the Chinese. So come on, stop trying to act like you the bigger man and got to be appalled. I'm appalled that Donald Trump did not call Putin. Now, you don't know what that man talked to Putin about behind closed door. But you wait for somebody to air something out. But let me continue to go through this.
There are some challenges left when we were not able to clear all the backlog, but I think that we made a first important step in this direction. And in conclusion, I want to point out that this atmosphere of cooperation is something that we are especially grateful for to our Finnish hosts. We're grateful for Finnish people and Finnish leadership for what they've done. I know that we've caused some inconvenience to Finland, and we apologize for it. Thank you for your attention.
Now, he's saying, look, I'm happy that we are working on a relationship. Trump's saying is, what past is past. We do it to them, they do it to us. Okay, blah. So let's move forward building a relationship. Yeah, I'm watching you out of one eye. You watching me out of one eye, but let's go forward. That's what we're supposed to do. Nobody has to be on our side, and we ain't got to be on that side, but we got to meet in the middle over some things for the sake of peace. for the sake of tolerance maintaining in this community called Earth. We don't need to be ramping up, but you numbnuts in politics and you numbnuts in the political media, you're looking for a war. You're looking for heated circumstances. You're looking for somebody that's, you know, you like that person on the side saying, he said, you heard what he said about his mama. What he said about my mama? Your mama's so fat, you know. And that man probably ain't said something like that. And then you going up there and say, yo, man, what you said about my mama? Oh, I don't know. You said my mama fat? Bip! Right in the mouth. Pow, yow. I ain't say nothing about your mama. Somebody stirring stuff between me and you because they want to see a fight. And that is what's going on in the media. That's going on with our politicians. Dark day. Get the hell out of this dark day mess. Many dark days we done had in this country. Many dark days my people had. Many dark days the Hispanic community had. The Native American community, the Chinese people had all those dark days. We had more in America, but come on, get out of here with this dark. It's dark days for you Caucasian people, not hating on all of you, but I'm just letting you know, you haven't really seen any dark days. Get out of here. And you got the nerve to say, this is a dark day? Man, get out of here. Like I said, it's dark because you've been having your head up in your behind when it comes to other people doing all this stuff. When it comes to the United States and when it comes to our own political leaders, your head is up your behind. CIA, NSA, you name it. Head is up the behind. Far up, way up in there. You can see your guts. You refuse to see what's going on in your own backyard, in your own country, with your own leaders. Sure, if Russia did that, you prosecute them. You go after them. Because we do that. And if we do that to them, they got a right to call us out. And let me tell you something again. We do it all to one another. We hack and manipulate, and we go even further than that in the United States. We gonna find some way to pull your leader out of his castle, his palace, and shoot him in the head or hang him. And then we gonna put in office whoever we want to put in office. Oh boy, America, America. God shed his grace on thee. Nah, he is not shedding grace when we are being disgraceful to our fellow man. Let me get... All right, I apologize. I'm having some technical difficulties on here, but it's going to be all right. So let me see if I can continue this. Trump is now talking about diplomacy. He hasn't been talking like that before, being talking like a bully now. So, you know, I can see where some people would think he was kissing up to his behind and showing America not to be strong. But you tell these same people say Trump is being strong and being tough on these people, but you're seeing them being nice to Putin, and now they're going to probably get mad at you because now you're saying, what happened to this tough talk? Why you're not being tough on Putin? Hey, look, dang if you do, dang if you don't. Like I said, I never root for bad things to happen to a president. I believe everybody can have a soul moment and all of a sudden do right by people. I'm a living witness. I'm talking about straight up thug, harasser, abuser, you name it. I'm one of the most loving guys you can ever meet in your life. And look, it doesn't matter. I love Republicans. I love Democrats. It don't matter who you are. I love you. I may get on you sometimes, just like people get on me sometimes. But that's my act of showing love. And I try to do it in love, not visceral, not vindictive, not trying to harm you or hurt you. So in this case, Trump is trying to show diplomacy on one of the biggest superpowers in the world. And when it comes to people like this who have nuclear capabilities, you want to be tough, but you don't want to be overbearing. And you want to show yourself strong, not just as strong, but stronger. But yet at the same time, you want to show yourself more stable, disciplined, cool, calm, and collective. That's one of the things I like about Obama, even though he did some crappy stuff on the side. But his portrayment and his attitude toward everything was cool, calm, and collective. And he did get some stuff done. Let me finish with Trump and his talk with Putin.
Russia and the United States. Our meeting carries on a long tradition of diplomacy between Russia, the United States, for the greater good of all the United States. Our meeting carries on a long tradition of diplomacy between Russia, the United States, for the greater good of all. And this was a very constructive day. This was a very constructive few hours that we spent together. It's in the interest of both of our countries to continue our conversation, and we have agreed to do so. I'm sure we'll be meeting again in the future, often, and hopefully we will solve every one of the problems that we discussed today. So, again, President Putin, thank you very much.
Oh, horror, horror. He cowed down. He became a punk. He became Putin's B-I-T-C-H. 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 He became Putin B-I-T-C-H. What I'm going to do with you guys, man? Come on. Do you want to go to war with Russia over some accusations? Well, they got evidence. Have you seen it? All you heard was he saved from Rosenstein. He saved from the liar Mueller. He saved from political operatives. He saved in the media. No concrete evidence. And yet, majority of them say Trump election was legit. Russian, the only thing they did was try to influence people on who to vote for and who not. That is not a crime. It is called propaganda. We do it, they do it. Everybody do it. Blah, 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 blah. But we want to make it a crime. We think it is drastically a treasonous part, is an attack on America. What's an attack on America? The ability for the Russians to try to influence us on who to pick for an election. But it's okay for us to do it, right? Is it, you know, we do it to Afghanistan, we do it to Palestinians. We've done it heavily when it came to the PLO and Yasser Arafat. We currently, you know, we're trying to pull that narrative with Netanyahu. I mean, we do it all the time. We did it with Libya and try to get people to go against Gaddafi. We're doing it with Iran, trying to get people to go against the Khomeinis. I mean, the Ayatollahs. I mean, we do it with everybody, and we hire people. And we got people in the NSA and all that hacking into people's systems and things like that. So who are we to talk? Who are we to talk? We need to stick our chest in. And we need to stop this fake huffing and puffing. All this is a way to try to prolong this thing to the election to see if the Democrats are going to take the House and Senate. And then once they do, they're going to try to do an impeachment process on Trump to get rid of him. And I'm saying, look, if you're going to do something like that, sure, you need to make sure you have a legit reason, like violating a monument clause. That is against the law. And you can get evidence instead of this crap right here. Now, I got to give it Trump. Trump said, look, I don't give a crap what you say. Democrats, you can say whatever you got to say. Any other political offer to the freaking media. I'm not doing what you want me to do. I'm not going to punch this dude in the jaw. I'm not going to cuss him out. I'm not going to scold him in front of these cameras. I may do it behind closed doors, but you won't know it. Now ain't none of your business. I'm not going to declare, and I'm not going to tell you what I said. You don't tell me what to do. I'm the president. And if you don't like it, then fool you on you. But right now, we got to go move forward and some kind of peace and build from there a relationship for the sake of the world. Me doing what you want me to do is going to hurt the American public, because now we're going to war. And who's going to pay for it? The American people, not you rich elites. Now, do I take him with a grain of salt? Yeah, I always take Trump with a grain of salt. I don't believe that dude. It's like I don't believe most of these politicians. Nobody on that Capitol I trust. Except my good friend Antoinette, who's oftentimes going to D.C. and handling business. I trust her when she goes to Washington, D.C. But no, I don't trust most of these numbnuts. None of them to be trusted. All right, now, the questions are going out to Trump. They're going to really try to get him to do something in public.
disappearance of transit through Ukraine, and I reassured Mr. President that Russia stands ready to maintain this transit. Moreover, we stand ready to extend this transit contract that is about to expire next year, in case if the dispute between the economic entities will be settled in the Stockholm Arbitration Court.
This goes to Jeff Mason from Reuters.
Thank you. Mr. President, you tweeted this morning that it's U.S. foolishness, stupidity, and the Mueller probe that is responsible for the decline in U.S. relations with Russia. Do you hold Russia at all accountable for anything in particular? And if so, what would you consider them that they are responsible for?
Yes, I do. I hold both countries responsible. I think that the United States has been foolish. I think we've all been foolish. We should have had this dialogue a long time ago, a long time, frankly, before I got to office. And I think we're all to blame. I think that the United States now has stepped forward along with Russia, and we're getting together, and we have a chance to do some great things, whether it's nuclear proliferation in terms of stopping. We have to do it. Ultimately, that's probably the most important thing that we can be working on. But I do feel that we have both made some mistakes. I think that the probe is a disaster for our country. I think it's kept us apart. It's kept us separated. There was no collusion at all. Everybody knows it. People are being brought out to the fore. So far that I know, virtually none of it related to the campaign. And they're going to have to try really hard to find somebody that did relate to the campaign. That was a clean campaign. I beat Hillary Clinton easily. And frankly, we beat her. And I'm not even saying from the standpoint, we won that race. And it's a shame that there can even be a little bit of a cloud over it. People know that, people understand it, but the main thing, and we discussed this also, is zero collusion. And it has had a negative impact upon the relationship of the two largest nuclear powers in the world. We have 90% of nuclear power between the two countries. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what's going on with the probe.
For President Putin, if I could follow up as well.
Now, Trump said something there. It is ridiculous. Now, he just can't get over mentioning Hillary Clinton. You don't have to say that. All you have to do is say, hey, we won fair and square, and they want to try to make this and try to make it seem like I won because I had a deal with Russia. I had no deal with Russia, and blah, 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 blah. Again, Trump is right. There is no evidence of collusion. And the authorities have said over and over from all the intelligence agencies that it had nothing to do with Hillary losing the election. She lost because she sucked, and Trump barely was a little bit better than her, and he won. Look, we had two crappy candidates. We had one of the craps had to win. We had a diamond in the rough that nobody was taking time to take a look at, and they was trying their best to smear her before she gained some traction, and that was Jill Stein. Diamond in the rough. Smart, intelligent, knows foreign policies, know all the things to become a great first woman president. But everybody just discounted her and continue to say we can't take no risk because with Jill Stein, because we might end up getting Hillary as president. So I'm going to just stick with Trump no matter how crazy and nuts. So I trust that he's going to do something with one eye open. And vice versa with Hillary Clinton. Trump, no, that guy's a wild man. I'd rather go with Hillary Clinton. And trust that she says she's going to do what she's going to do with one eye open, even though she's been stabbing us in the back all these years, too. So what do? But Trump needs to just let that Democrat thing go. So look, I don't know what the deal is. All I know is the intelligence sources said that it had nothing to do with me winning the election. It had everything to do with probably some body in Russia. Never said Russian government. And it could be some Russian government leaders that done this. That put out stuff to try to influence people's decision making on who to vote for, Clinton or Trump. Hey, like I said, we need to stick our chest in because we do that in other countries too. We do it all the time. Now, so Trump saying, look, we need right now. This ain't no joke. I'm meeting with this man, and I need to get some things done. We got 90% of the world's weapons. And between us, we got to come to some peace. We got to come to some relationship. I'm not going to let your thinking of what I should do about this person to cause tension between me and them. We are the two biggest superpowers in the world, and we got to get along whether you like it or not. And I agree with him. Now, if he sees some Russian stuff going on, he need to call it out, just like Putin need to call it out on us. They can call out each other and still work toward peace. They have to. Well, he's just bowing down, counting down, little punk. Well, oh well. All right, whatever that's how Trump is going to tell you. Oh well, call me whatever you want. But I'm not going to put this country in a predicament where we got this hot tension between us because you want me to go over there and smack that man in the mouth. And that's what you want. You want that man to rock bottom him, power drive him, tombstone power drive him. You want him the RKO him and all that. Wipe his hand, obviously. Now, don't you dare mess with our election again. And you'll be satisfied and you'll be like, yeah! No! All right, now, the questions continue to go, and I'm almost done. Because I got to get some sleep.
Why should Americans and why should President Trump believe your statement that Russia did not intervene in the 2016 election, given the evidence that U.S. intelligence agencies have provided? And will you consider extraditing the 12 Russian officials that were indicted last week by a U.S. grand jury?
Well, I'm going to let the president answer the second part of that question. But as you know, the whole concept of that came up perhaps a little bit before, but it came out as a reason why the Democrats lost an election, which frankly they should have been able to win because the Electoral College is much more advantageous for Democrats, as you
Boom, and he is right.
know, than it is to Republicans. We won the Electoral College by a lot, 306 to 223, I believe. And that was a well-fought battle. We did a great job. And frankly, I'm going to let the president speak to the second part of your question. But just to say it one time again, and I say it all the time, there was no collusion. I didn't know the president. There was nobody to collude with. There was no collusion with the campaign. And every time you hear all of these, 12 and 14, it's stuff that has nothing to do. And frankly, they admit these are not people involved in the campaign.
And he is right. It has nothing to do with that election process. It has nothing to do with people going to the polls and voting. It had nothing to do with him out there holding these rallies or Clinton holding her lack of rallies that she did. It had nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with that. Yeah, there was some collusion going on. There was some rigging going on, but it was happening in the primaries more so than the general election. Now, let me get back to this.
To the average reader out there, they're saying, well, maybe that does. It doesn't. And even the people involved, some perhaps told mis-stories, although in one case the FBI said there was no lie. There was no lie. Somebody else said there was. We ran a brilliant campaign, and that's why I'm president. Thank
you. As to who is to be believed and to who is not to be believed.
This is Putin.
You can trust no one if you take this. Where did you get this idea that President Trump trusts me or I trust him? He defends the interests of the United States of America, and I do defend the interests of the Russian Federation. We do have interests that are common. We are looking for points of contact. There are issues where our postures diverge, and we are looking for ways to reconcile our differences, how to make our effort more meaningful. We should not proceed from the immediate political interests that guide certain political powers in our countries. We should be guided by facts. Could you name a single fact that would definitively prove the collusion? This is utter nonsense. Just like the president recently mentioned. Yes, the public at large in the United States had a certain perceived opinion of the candidates during the campaign, but there's nothing particularly extraordinary about it. That's a usual thing. President Trump, when he was a candidate, he mentioned the need to restore the Russia-US relationship, and it's clear that a certain part of American society felt sympathetic about it, and different people could express their sympathy in different ways. But isn't that natural? Isn't it natural to be sympathetic towards a person who is willing to restore the relationship with our country, who wants to work with us? We heard the accusations about the Concord country. Well, as far as I know, this company hired American lawyers, and the accusations doesn't have a fighting chance in the American courts. So there's no evidence when it comes to the actual facts. So we have to be guided by facts and not by rumors. Now, let's get back to the issue of these 12 alleged intelligence officers of Russia. I don't know the full extent of the situation, but the President Trump mentioned this issue, and I will look into it. So far, I can say the following. The things that, off the top of my head, we have an existing agreement between the United States of America and the Russian Federation, an existing treaty that dates back to 1999, the mutual assistance on criminal cases. This treaty is in full effect. It works quite efficiently. On an average, we initiate about 150 criminal cases upon requests from foreign states. For instance, the last year, there was one extradition case upon the request sent by the United States. So this treaty has specific legal procedures. We can offer that the appropriate commission headed by Special Attorney Mueller, he can use this treaty as a solid foundation and send an official request to us, so that we would hold a questioning of these individuals who he believes are privy to some crimes. And our law enforcement are perfectly able to do this questioning and send the appropriate materials to the United States. Moreover, we can meet you halfway. We can make another step. We can actually permit official representatives of the United States, including the members of this very commission headed by Mr. Mueller, we can let them into the country and they will be present at this questioning. But in this case, there's another condition. This kind of effort should be a mutual one. Then we would expect that the Americans would reciprocate, and they would question officials, including the officers of law enforcement and intelligence services of the United States, whom we believe who have something to do with illegal actions on the territory of Russia. And we have to request the presence of our law enforcement.
All right, so what he is saying there is, hey, look, if you really got some evidence, we'll work with you. We'll cooperate with you. We have something already in the treaty saying that something like that happened. Hey, we can do the deal. We can have people send people to you, and if you found somebody and we find somebody on your end, you send the people to us. We can work that out, but let's work something together. If you could come here to Russia, you could check out the areas and do an investigation. Likewise, we should be able to do that when it comes to yours, because we got evidence of you guys doing the same thing to us, just like you say we've done the same thing to you too. And initially saying not just the government, but just people in business and things like that, because businesses are now on the side of playing and meddling in political affairs for their own business interests. So Vladimir Putin putting something out there and saying, all right, here it is. I got my cards on the table, Mueller. If you put up a shut up, I'm giving you access, baby. Put up a shut up. If you think we had something to do with it, the government, Russian government, or anybody I'm affiliated with it, here it is. Boom. I'm put all my cards on the table. Either you going to trump me or I'm going to call you bluff. It's up to you. And right now, he's going to call him bluff because he's only doing this to get on the side of American people after what he did with Iraq. He's only doing this to stay relevant, and he's only doing this to lead to the next election. Will it continue to go? Probably so, because the particular Democratic Party would love to use Mueller to get rid of Trump, especially when they get if they will ever, which I doubt it, because they haven't cleaned up their own house. There's so much Democratic collusion in the Democratic Party. It's ridiculous, and Mueller won't even see it. Don't even try to see it because he's a hack. Now let me finish this with Putin say, look, put up a shut up, Doc. Shut your mouth with all this stuff. Show me the evidence and let's work. Let's get some stuff done. If you say you got somebody in Petersburg, let's go to the facilities. Let's pull them out and let's put that butt on trial. And likewise with the people that we probably got from you that hacked into our territory. All right, put up a shut up. Let's prosecute on both sides. Let's send them all to trial if you got any evidence. But bottom line, he ain't going to do it because he ain't got jack. He ain't got jack. And everything Trump is saying about that election is right. It's sad that a nighttime game show host, reality star, beat out Hillary Clinton, who's supposed to be the golden girl, the master of political affairs.
For instance, we can bring up Mr. Browder in this particular case. Business associates of Mr. Browder have earned over $1.5 billion in Russia. They never paid any taxes, neither in Russia nor in the United States. And yet the money escaped the country. They were transferred to the United States. They sent huge amount of money, $400 million, as a contribution to the campaign of Hillary Clinton. Well, that's their personal case. It might have been legal, the contribution itself, but the way the money was earned was illegal. So we have a solid reason to believe that some intelligence officers accompanied and guided these transactions. So we have an interest of questioning them. We can that could be a first step, and we can also extend it. Options abound, and they all can be found in an appropriate legal framework.
And did you direct any of your officials to help him do that?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Because he talked about bringing the US-Russia relationship back to normal.
Продолжаем. Я думаю, вполне вопроса 3 может задать кто-то из российского пула.
I think there can be 3 questions from the Russian pool. Russia Today, you have the floor. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone. My name is Ilya Petrenko, RT TV channel.
In English. Mr. President, would you please go into the details of possibly any specific arrangements for the U.S. to work together with Russia in Syria, if any of these kind of arrangements were made today or discussed? И, если позволите, Владимир Владимирович, тоже вопрос на...
My question to President Putin in Russian. Since we brought up the issue of football several times, I used the football language. Mr. Pompeo mentioned that when we talk about the Syrian cooperation, the ball is in the Syrian court. Mr. Putin, in the Russian court, is it true? And how would you use this fact, the having the ball?
Well, I guess I'll answer the first part of the question. We've worked with Israel long and hard for many years, many decades. I think we've never has any country been closer than we are. President Putin also is helping Israel, and we both spoke with Bibi Netanyahu, and they would like to do certain things with respect to Syria, having to do with the safety of Israel. So in that respect, we absolutely would like to.
All right, so I'm done. All right, so the bottom line, and I'm closing, just went a little over. Trump goes to Russia, meets with Putin. The political talking heads, political authorities, the news media said didn't even want him to go in the first place, and that's the reason why this indictment came out. To try to shame him into not going. That's the real reason why they doing this, to shame him into not going. It didn't work. Trump said, I'm going anyway. I mean, you're not going to shame me once I got my mind set. It's done. Once his mind is set, he's going to do it whether you like it or not. That could be a good thing and when it comes to character, and it could be a bad thing in character. It depends on your heart. If you got a good heart and your mind is set, it could do wonders for you. If you got a bad heart and your mind is set, it could be disastrous. Trump is a mixed bag. It's more 75% bad, 25% good. In this case, Trump is saying that, look, it's just good for me to go anyway. I ain't kissing up these people in the political. I'm not trying to be on their team anyway. I don't like them. Most political heads, I came to drain the swamp. They part of the swamp, don't drain it. Even though he drained it and then he cleaned it and had more people, swamp monsters in the swamp, and poured water on top of it. You know, and some of them climbed out and went by their own merry way, but he's still trying to dump more people in it. But the bottom line is, Trump saying, look, you don't dictate to me. I'm the president. You don't control me. You don't tell me what to do. My party don't. The political leaders don't. The Department of Justice don't. Don't nobody tell me what to do and how to become the president. I'm the president, whether you like it or not. I'm going to go over there. I don't care if you think me and him do, guys, a thing going on. We really ain't got a thing going on, but I'm going to try to have something going on. You can sit over here and keep talking about this crap. I'm going ahead to get business done. I'm going to deal with nuclear proliferation. I'm going to deal with some of the stuff that's going on in the world. I mean, I'm going to try to find some kind of peace talk and see if I can work with him about making sure we keep ISIS out of Syria and other things that I'm working on. So you can say what you want, do what you do, talk what you want about me. I don't give a crap. I'm going to do it my way. That's Donald Trump for you. In this case, if it's bringing peace, it's a good thing. I always told you guys, even though I did not vote for him and wouldn't vote for him in 2008, I'm not one of these people that hashtag me, the I left movement, whatever this is. Yes, I left, but I'm not leaving to go into another party. That's leaving one abusive relationship, going to another abusive relationship. These parties don't give a crap about you. All they care about is their parties. And I'm not leaving one party going to another. I love my independence and I vote on individuals. And I'm not in the party to do that. And I'm not going to join a party to do that. So the bottom line, Trump say, look, I'm going to do it my way, whether you like it or not. And as far as this Russian collusion, they already said it over and over again that my election was legit. I beat her fair and square. Now, as far as people being influenced, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Russia probably did have something to do with that. We probably do it to their country, and it's just a thing that get done. If Mueller won't figure he can prosecute people on that, more power to him. But it ain't got nothing to do with me, and it don't. But most of you people think it do. It ain't got nothing to do with him beating Hillary. Hillary sucked. S-U-C-K-E-D. She sucked at everything in her positions except being a wife. Literally. So I'm Robert Bob TV Brown. We just broke that down about Trump meeting Russia. Political leaders. News reporter. You thought he should cow down, and after the report that he's all going to shut the show down, he didn't shut the show down. Well, we need him to stand up. If he don't stand up against Putin and put him in his place, then he's a traitor and he's committing treason. No, that's not the definition of traitor or treason. And yeah, he did talk to him. He even explained, Putin did even explain that, yeah, we had this talk. I ain't had nothing to do with it. But look, if you think I had something to do with it, you open, we can work together to do an investigation on both ends. What you going to do with that? He called you bluff. He said, here it is, I'm laying it down. The cards on the table. Either you going to trump me or you going to fold. I'm calling you bluff. You want to get something done? You want to see if it's collusion? Great. Let's get together and we'll find out about the collusion on my end, and we'll find out a collusion on your end. Because if I do it, you you definitely do it, and you're better than I am. All right, I'll talk to you later. Robert Bob TV Brown. This is the Rob Report. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Hey, if you like the content, please like it, share it through all the social media platforms. If you have not subscribed, make sure you stop me right now and subscribe. Don't just subscribe, but hit the notification bell like that, a little bell. You gotta click that. That'll let you know when I'm dropping a video. Whoop, there it is. And by all means, if you want to support through Patreon, I appreciate people who appreciate the program and want to donate to the cause on BOBTV. And I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. Peace.